Hey guys, this is my 2015 Honda CTX700, and it was more of an impulse buy, and you know, it's not my style, but it's kind of a really cool looking bike. Right off the bat, I actually thought that this bike was a little bit different. Over here, I thought this would be more similar to the NC700, but it's not. The gas tank is actually here, and I assume it trickles down to the bottom. But it actually sounds like a V-twin because the previous owner cut the exhaust and replaced that very massive exhaust. I prefer the stock exhaust, honestly. But in a little bit, I'll start it up, and you'll hear it run. It sounds very much like a V-twin. And riding this thing makes me appreciate my Honda Ascot just a little bit more, because what I find about this bike, especially with this kind of V-twin sounding exhaust, is that this bike is pretending to be a V-twin. My Ascot is not pretending to be a V-twin. It's a V-twin, and it kind of reminds me of people that put wood flooring on their houses, and there are people that put wood-looking flooring on their houses, like with tiles that look like floors. And one of the things I appreciate is that I appreciate tile for being tile, for looking like tile, and I appreciate wood for looking like wood. I don't appreciate wood or ceramic tiles or linoleum tiles that try and pretend to look like wood. So if that makes any sense, this is a wood floor. It's a ceramic wood flooring that's pretending to be a wood flooring, and I would rather it just know what it is. You know, don't pretend that you're something that you're not. But it is a good bike. It's got the inline 2 and the parallel 2 that Honda's been putting on a lot of bikes. A lot of the stuff here is in common with the NC700. And if you look in my previous videos, I did have an NC700X for a while. I think for me, the NC700 is a much better bike. It's got, that sounds pretty good, better features than this.
Very wide seat.
I'm not going to do a full review of this. This is just a little bit of a talk. But one of the big benefits, of course, was the compartment in the fuel tank that you can put a full-size helmet. This one doesn't have it. But it's no big deal. Okay. But the style is also a little bit something that it's something that I think most Americans like. The cruiser, the up front sort of position for their legs. It's got a much more massive rear tire. It's a very stable ride, and the ape hanger
I think it sounds good.
Handlebars, for me it feels like it's an ape hanger, because most bikes I have are like this, and I kind of like this position. But it was very easy to ride, and the seat is much wider than any current bike that I have. I think the only other super wide seat bike that I had was a Kimco 500 scooter. This is super wide, much wider than my Tenere, and even wider than my V-Strom 650. The color itself looks good, and I think the prices for these are high, but I'm not really sure if that's a standard. Right now it's the winter, so these are going cheaper, but not too cheap. I think the prices on these are like $4,500 to $5,500 in the used market. This one only has 2,000 miles and it's from 2015, so barely used. And the engine is good, everything about it is good. Let me show you around. It's a cruiser, so you see the foot pegs are really high up here. There's a couple of versions of this bike. There's one that's got like this weird fairing thing. It looks kind of like very Darth Vader-y. It's got a very large, oversized front rotor, same as the NC700. And look at this, you know where the key for opening up the seat? It is so hidden. I can see somebody not ever knowing where it is, but it's right here. Just look at this really wide seat here. That is a wide seat. Let's move over here. I thought that this was a frunk. This is really cheap metal. Actually, it feels like plastic. Not very high quality for a Honda. And you have to use the key. What I would rather them do is that they made some sort of button that you could pop it up without the key. you know, and then just leave this open. You know, Honda does this on a lot of bikes. And I don't understand, like, are people really stealing gas that you need it to be lockable all the time? I know there's bikes that don't require this. I don't know, it just seems kind of silly. And then here you have this, which is a little pocket, and it's kind of wide. I don't know, you put like sunglasses there. That's pretty much it. I don't think there's much anything that you can do with this. Yeah, it seems kind of useless. I thought there would be a frunk here, but nope. The handlebars are kind of wide and kind of high, but everything about it works. The mirrors are exactly the same as the NC700s. I wonder if this is a different length. This is something that pisses me off about Hondas. So most likely, you're not going to be using the horn often, and most horns are here. And I usually down here. Like, actually, there's even like a space here for a horn button. But Honda's been replacing this on the inline 2s. They're putting the turn signal here. This one's a little bit better, but the CB500s, they all have this system. And I would rather the turn signal be here than here. Start it up. And very simple system here. And I believe I don't have to, oh, I do have to put it in neutral. And look how far my foot pegs are. I do have to fill it up. So you can see the exhaust is kind of loud. It's fuel injected, so. This is the most amount of smoking I've had the bike do. It's absolutely freezing. That's why the smoke. It's not an engine issue. This thing has only got 2,000 miles. It's so cold, guys. It's just so cold. It does look good. Styling wise, it's a very good looking bike. But I just wanted to give you a little heads up with my new toy that I can't ride. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.